Welcome to a world filled with chess. Today's guest is Darshan Chavan, and he comes to us from Australia. We usually just get right into it. And so, Darshan, why don't you tell us a little bit about your story, your resume, and how you got to here?
Sure. Hey guys, good to speak with you all. My name is Darshan, and I'm based here in Gold Coast, Australia. And currently, what we do is we help busy business owners find virtual assistant and like outsource their team members so that they can gain more free time and freedom as well, and also have a bigger profit margin.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about yourself. What's your background, your resume? How did you get to here?
Yeah, for me, I just started here as an international student for almost 2 to 3 years during my initial journey. And then later on, I got into door to door sales just because I wanted to really learn about sales and marketing. And because every book or every person which I heard about, they always mention that for you to succeed in business, you got to get really good in sales and marketing. Whereas I came from an IT or a tech background, I had no idea sales, how to do it, what to do, and everything. So I spent almost 3 to 4 years doing door to door selling. All right, selling telecom, solar, and many other things. And that's when I met my business partner at an Unleash the Power Within seminar, like Tony Robbins seminar. And yeah, we just started the business, and we've been able to scale the business and also add some value to the team members as well as our clients.
Very good. Yeah. So, door to door sales is not for everyone. It takes a special
Yeah.
kind of person to be able to accept all the no's that you receive, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it does builds you a lot of resilience and also the thick skin that you need in business. Okay, when you really get to understand the different aspects of business like customer support, going through that rejection, the failures, and everything, it sets you up pretty well to handle all the challenges and everything that the business world throws at you.
Now, what layers did you have to reveal to become who you are now?
I mean, there are a lot of concepts. One of the biggest ones which I cover was in my TEDx talk as well. My ability to grow from just a solopreneur to a real business owner and an entrepreneur, because I always had this conversation, all right, that no one else can do as much of a better work than I. All right. Or I had the fear of losing control. All right. And also the feeling of importance. Okay. And it had been tied up to my identity saying that only I can do a better job. Okay, sometimes I can do more sales than anyone else. All these kind of limiting beliefs is something that I had to overcome to build a team and to scale a business, because the skills that are required to build a team, manage a team, leadership, all these are so different than an individual performer or a solo performer. So that are also some of the biggest challenges which I had to personally overcome to make sure that we're able to succeed as a team.
Very good. What would you say your next layer is to remove?
For me, the next layer would be to grow other leaders in our business. All right. Because currently we are growing pretty rapidly and we are scaling pretty big. So the next phase for me in the growth of my business cycle is to make sure that we will be able to nurture the current leadership team. Okay. And get results through people. All right. Through the leaders as well, and train them and make sure that they're up and running and they would be able to lead other people more effectively, because I can see that's going to be the next level of growth for us in making sure that we are able to train, motivate, and inspire the entire leadership team in our companies.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a very difficult thing to do, isn't it? I mean, just to
Yeah.
build something and then now you have to hand off these roles here. It's very tough piece to do.
Yeah, it's just again, it becomes a part of our growth journey to make sure that we are able to ascend from one level to another.
I love talking to other founders because it's almost like we have a different brain from everyone else. We have to learn how to
Mm.
do, like you said, the sales piece, marketing, accounting, recruitment, the business development, just every little step of the way, including operations and, even the IT piece, like you said earlier, like you had that background as well.
Mm. Yeah, big time. Because business is just not one thing. Overall, there are so many moving parts to it. So I had read a book a long time ago called as an entrepreneur roller coaster. And over there, they talk about just a few skills that you need to be good at as an entrepreneur. First and foremost is managing your mindset. Having that optimistic, positive mindset that you have a strong belief that you can make things happen. And the second skill that they talk about is managing your time and productivity as an entrepreneur. If you can get better at managing the time and making sure that you're able to get most of the work done, you'll be able to progress ahead. The third skill was getting really good at sales. All right. Your ability to persuade people, your ability to make people the decision. And the fourth one was marketing. All right. Because you might have the world's best product, but if you don't know how to market it, yeah, nothing much happens. How can you really convince people, showcase your service or product? That would be the fourth one. The fifth one is recruiting and hiring, especially if you want to build a company with amazing culture. You need to know how to recruit the best talent that's out there, because that one person can come to your company and change the complete game for you. So recruiting and HR would be a really good one. And the last one also they talked about is your leadership and team building, because once you have learned the skill of leading people, all right, managing a team, having that culture, there's no limit to what you can achieve. And this would be the hardest thing, especially working with people. All right, people are so diverse and so complex sometimes. So your ability to gel with them and get the best out of them would be so crucial for your success as an entrepreneur. So yeah, those six things really stood out for me. So I always try to make sure how can I polish my skills in one of these six areas. And yeah, it's going to be a continuous improvement all the time.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, we built a few $1 million up over these past few years in recruitment, and so dealing with that human element is just it's something else that unless you're tied into it, you kind of take it for granted. If let's say you're working for a company and you're just not tied into the HR recruitment piece, you really just kind of take for granted the team that's around you that was kind of built there. And but I love this piece. I mean, I really became pretty good at juggling different elements of business and hiring the parts and pieces that it takes to build something successful. So
yeah, especially in a competitive market environment right now.
right.
All right. People have so many options. Why would they want to come and work with your company?
Right.
All right. Because sometimes when we prepare an offer for our clients, we also make sure the offer is very irresistible for the team members. All right. And our employees as well, because the options are unbelievable, especially as a remote team. The entire world is their oyster. They can work for any company. All right, in the entire world. So why would they want to work for your company? What are you bringing to the table?
Yeah.
All right. How are you adding most value to them? And the most important thing is, why would the top performers want to stay with your company?
Yeah.
Because they keep getting offers all the time. Maybe not the low performers or the mid-tier ones, but if you want to really keep the top performers, the A players, how can you differentiate yourself? How can you make sure that they love coming to work every day? That's going to be a really very important part of the puzzle.
Yeah, very well said. Now, what trials and tribulations have you been through? I like to think that, people who are founding companies and building things that still exist, especially today, you've probably been through some extreme trials and tribulations to get to here.
Yeah, there've been a few, in my journey, even starting with my door-to-door days. All right. Sometimes when I first started, the weather was so severe here, especially in Melbourne. At the time when I first started my door-to-door experience, there were intense heat waves where the temperature used to be like almost 46 degrees Celsius. And as soon as the air used to blow, it used to almost burn our ears.
Yeah.
All right, burn our nose. And I still remember a point where we usually used to use an iPad to make a note of the sales and everything. And that's the first time I saw a red thermometer that comes up on the iPad saying that your iPad is too heated, you can't use it. And I'm like, wow. So we used to just chuck the iPad inside, and then we used to open a notepad and start knocking on people's doors.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, it was such an awesome experience. And sometimes people used to just swear at you in different accents as well. And while you're speaking, they smash the door in front of your face. All right. And yeah, it's such an amazing experience to go through as a salesperson. All right. Going through that so many rejections, going through so many failures and those kind of things. And as a business owner, sometimes the biggest challenge that we have faced as well is maintaining that culture and your ability to scale that culture as and when the business grows. Okay, because we are always in a people business, there are sometimes where we do make some changes, and some people like it, some people don't like it. And then those changes will affect the business for some time, but understanding that your ability to bounce back, how much resilience you are, I think so always plays a really, really big role. And as we were discussing about making sure how do we keep those talent, manage the cash flow. That's a very important piece of the puzzle, and it's the non-sexy part of the business as well. Most people think is business is just like sales and marketing. All right, keep getting sales, keep working on your marketing, and you don't need to worry on it. But when you go deeper in the financials, when you look at the financial aspect of it, I still believe that's the reason why most people don't get into business or try to not have be as a founder, because people would like to have a steady flow of income. Whereas in business, it's not like that. You will be in loss for almost like 6 months. All right. And then in the last 2 months, you make a massive profit.
Yeah.
But most people won't be able to digest that, especially that financial turbulence,
Yeah.
what you go through in business, and your ability to know that you have to make a payroll next month.
Yeah.
Even though at the point of where you might not be able to take any money out. And it has happened with many businesses that we have started. There are situations where we have not taken a single dollar out of the business, even for a year or 2 years, whereas the team members, even an admin person, is making way more money than you. Yeah. In the business. Yeah. So yeah, but that's a how do I say that? That's a benefit of being in business, right? You're happy to be that. You're happy to be the person who eats the last until unless you know you're going to eat the most.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very true. Footing large payrolls will wear you out. It's almost like you've never lived until you footed a large payroll.
100%.
She emerges, the tapestry of her journey woven into the fabric she wears. TGC Fashion presents the Winter Collection, where the urban landscape becomes a runway. In every stride, a story is told. From the city's rhythm to the untamed symphony of the mountains, she rises, a beacon of strength against the canvas of the winter's embrace. In the cold winds, she finds warmth. In the shadows, she becomes the light. It's not just about clothing, it's about an attitude, a narrative, a woman redefining the season. Alter your closet's DNA, each piece a genetic code of style, designed to transform not just what you wear, but who you are. It's not just fashion, it's an identity. TGC Fashion, where every outfit is a new chapter, and every woman is the author of her own story. Together, we alter the genetic sequence of fashion.
When did you become passionate about your current business focus?
For me, it was when I was going through a massive phase where I knew that I had no more time left. All right. And I had to outsource, I had to delegate. All right. And that's when we started building the remote team concept, like a really high performance remote team. And I could see that it was not only benefiting me, all right, by giving me that time freedom and the freedom in having a very high profit margin. All right. But at the same time, I could see that the team members, all right, from Philippines, we usually hire from, usually from Philippines, it was having a really big impact on them as well. Some of them I could see they were sharing stories of how they were able to fix their roof, like a leaking roof. They were able to provide amazing education for their family. Yeah. But at the same time, not only that, they were able to have a huge impact on our clients. They were going above and beyond. All right. And even just in our current business, we have over like 400 five-star reviews on Google, Trustpilot, Facebook, everywhere. And some of the reviews, when I read them, it's not like, okay, I had an amazing experience. They've written stories. And I'm like, I never tell you to write stories on reviews. But when people can sense that, all right, these guys want to really help you. And yeah, that's when I really got to know that, wow, like, entrepreneurs and business owners are so hardworking, but at the same time, they spend so much time instead of delegating, instead of outsourcing it to a remote team. And especially in this era where you can find amazing quality people for just 13 bucks or even 15 bucks. All right. Whereas you as an entrepreneur, your time is way more valuable than anything else. You really should not be spending those time doing data entry, working on a Google sheet, all right, clearing your inboxes. There are people who are there who are passionate about it. Okay. So yeah, again, I had read from one of my mentor as well, who told me always know what you don't like and make sure you go and find those people who are passionate about what you hate. And I'm like, wow, that's an amazing concept.
Yeah.
Right? There are so many people who love doing Excel sheets. For me, myself, I don't like it. I hate do anything to do with Canva, Excel, and everything. But there are other people, they brighten up. All right. They feel so happy doing all this stuff. So yeah, that's when we got to see that, yeah, we can add so much value to entrepreneurs. And for me as well, in my core, I believe that entrepreneurs are the only people who change the world. All right. At least not just business owners. Even when you are a team member, even when you are an employee, having that entrepreneurial mindset
Yeah.
has the biggest impact.
Yeah.
And as we discussed, the business owners and entrepreneurs sacrifice so much for the long game. And once we could see the impact that we are having, it really juiced me up. And I'm like, wow, what else can we do to help business owners and entrepreneurs?
Perfect. Perfect. Who were the greatest contributors to your character?
For me, I really dedicate a lot of my success or whatever we have achieved till now, usually for my personal development. And usually Tony Robbins has been the biggest part of it. And because even like going to all these seminars and everything, I could see that, like, there are so many limiting beliefs. There are so many things I got to change. So yeah, just reading his books, attending his seminars, and making sure I'm able to implement it. And more importantly, the people I used to meet in these seminars, all right,
Yeah.
used to have a biggest impact. And for me, the biggest one, like an epiphany moment, which I had was in 2016 in Sydney when I first went to his seminar. All right. There were almost 300 people who were working there for 5 days as volunteers.
Yeah.
And Australia currently has the highest minimum wage in the world. All right. And I was absolutely shocked. How come? Well, what has this guy done? All
Yeah.
right. In a country where in the entire world, Australia has the highest minimum wage. People are coming by their own to volunteer for 5 days, all right, in these seminars, and they love it. All right. And they are happy to spend their flight tickets. They are happy to spend money, food, everything. And yeah, so I think so Tony Robbins has been a really crucial part. And yeah, I think so that he's one person who really stands out.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to think that, seeing some of his videos and, listen to some of his CDs were some of the things that help awaken, the dream inside of myself as well. I recently had the luxury of interviewing Jim Britt, which was one of Tony Robbins' first coaches. And so that was really cool to be able to talk to somebody that, probably helped open his mind up to, his career that he's in now. And, Jim Britt was business partners with Jim Rohn. So if you've heard of Jim Rohn, so
Yeah.
that's kind of who helped him to grow. So, that's kind of what this show's been about, is trying to find the best of humans' ideation, the best thinkers, the best thought leaders that are still around. And and then digging into you and saying, hey, you're here now, but where have you been on your journey? because I think when people
Mm,
kind of hear about the journey and the things that help you to become who you are, I think it helps awaken things inside of others.
big time. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, sometimes the best advice you can give is lead by example
Yeah.
and show the path.
Now, when you first started, what was something that was more challenging than you had ever expected?
I think so for me in my business career is unlearning. All
Yeah.
right. In every different stage. Like, you need to learn something so quickly, but at the same time, once you think that wow, like I've got a hold of it, you try to move on to the next stage. And in the next stage, you have to completely unlearn whatever you have learned spending almost 2 years or 3 years honing that skill.
Yeah.
So I sometimes feel that wow, like that's the reason why there are very few people who are on this journey,
Yeah.
and more importantly, having that consistency. All right, and I've seen many people. All right, who do get very excited in starting things. All right, and I think so in this era of instant gratification, everyone wants to be an entrepreneur. Everyone wants to be a business owner. Okay, but when they go deeper into the hard work, the dedication, the sacrifice, all right, and more importantly, the character traits that you need to build to be a strong business owner or a leader, that really they can't see through it. All right, they can't push through those failures, the rejections, yeah, all those things. So I think so. Yeah, that's been a really big challenge for me sometimes, unlearning things pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's so much just continuous learning. It's just, you really have to master yourself. I mean, that's before even thinking about starting a business. If anybody is thinking about this, you need to really master yourself. I can remember 5 years ago, a little bit over 5 years ago, thinking that I had it all figured out. And then you get off into this and you go through these changing markets that we've been in. And, it's like, you know, just constantly peeling layers off and just like, wow, okay. Okay, wow. You really have to just become a whole different version of yourself. And you're just always learning. And like you said, unlearning things as well. Man,
Yeah.
who are you at your lowest points and who are you at your best?
The lowest point sometimes, like I just take more time to think. All right, because for me I like to ponder. All right, that's how sometimes my personality works. All right, taking some time out, having my own space, and trying to maybe journal and think about what exactly is happening,
Yeah.
and putting like my thoughts to paper. So that really helps me during the low points of my life. All right, and during my best points, I would like to spend more time in gratitude, being blessed, and also able to appreciate those people who have helped me get to this particular point at that time. Okay. Yeah, because they always say that, right? Sharing is caring. So that's how I would try to spend most of my time in the highs of high.
Very good. Very good. What's the best piece of advice you would have for the audience that truly wants to better themselves and others in their life?
For me, one of the best advices which I've heard as well is to always think long term, all right, and make sure your actions and your behaviors are leading over there. Because most people are always short sighted, even though they may say that, okay, you know what, I always think long term and I'm here for the long game. But in reality, it's not that. Okay, especially their calendar, their behaviors, their actions don't reflect it. And it has been something for me as well to always be conscious of. All right. And am I thinking long term? All right. Especially looking at the longevity research that's going on right now, where it has been shown that humans are able to live longer now. All right. That there's no point in thinking short term. All right. Be it with the relationships, be it with your business, or be it with your health as well. The more we have a long term perspective, there's an amazing things that's going to happen in your life.
Yeah, just give yourself a little bit of freedom, a little bit of relaxation, especially if you're a hard worker, and you got to just take it easy on yourself. I know myself, I'll beat up on myself probably more than anybody else ever could even think about it. And it's just like you gotta just let things kind of play out a little bit, instead of just saying, I'm not here where I think I should be. I'm here. It's okay. It's okay. Just be patient, be focused, and just keep up your hard work and you'll get there. But if you're sitting there stressing about not being here, then you are ruining your vehicle that we have, your body, with all that stress, when you just have to just take it easy. I've always kind of been that way. It's like, more recently now I'm trying to just take a little bit more breaks, because I'll work all day and all night, and if I'm in the zone, and then it's like, it's okay to, take off a day if you spent 2 days burning the candle at both ends, but it's just giving yourself that freedom, that fluctuation. What practices or techniques throughout your day make your day a success?
For me, I usually start my day with a really good high intensity workout with my personal trainer. All right, because for me, I was not even now, I'm not much of a big of an exercise kind of a person.
Yeah.
All right, I realized this 3 or 4 years ago, where I used to join gym often and I used to rarely go. So even over here, I kind of hired an outsourced person. So he lives in Turkey. So all I got to do is wake up in the morning and open up my WhatsApp. He has already sent me a Google Meet link, and I was going to jump in there, do a 30 minutes of high intensity workout, and done for the day. And then I just follow up with like 10 minutes of meditation using the Calm app. Okay, and so that I feel myself grounded over there, and just come up with a gratitude list. All right, I just write down 5 things I'm grateful for, and 3 wins I've had, like the last day, 3 things I need to improve, and also just write down my goals in present tense in my journal. And then I just make sure that I plan my entire day on paper. Like as Jim Rohn said, like you never start your day until it's finished on paper. It does help me build the focus, the clarity, and also where I need to go. And usually, between 3 to 4 days a week, I have a walking treadmill. All right, on my desk over here, I make sure I walk at least 10,000 steps each day, because I can see that while I'm walking or while I'm standing, my energy is really high. And yeah, these are the few things that I make sure that I'm grounded and I'm staying focused.
Are you big on nutrition? Do you use any special herbs or supplements, etc.?
Oh yeah, that's massive. I think so. I spent close to almost 800 or $1,000 a month only on supplements. But having said that, I have heard it from many health experts as well. Using supplements as supplements, all right. The biggest change would be your lifestyle habits, all right, like your sleep, your eating habits, your exercise, and your mindset. Maybe that would be the foundation of it. And once this is handled, I go into a bit of biohacking stuff, because that's something that's I'm more passionate about apart from business, is biohacking. So I give my self to cryotherapy, infrared saunas, nootropics, and yeah, many other stuff where I can get the best out of myself.
Very good. Very good. If you were to interview 3 people of your choosing, who would it be?
I think the first and foremost one would be Nelson Mandela. All right, because somehow that I just love his life journey. Even though he had to spend 30 plus years in prison, he was such an amazing guy, and he was able to forgive everyone, and then still make sure that he was able to start the country and make it succeed. And some of his qualities, especially when I've watched some of his movies and read his biography, it really stood out for me as to how did he really practice that. Okay, and especially for someone who has treated you so badly, how could you forgive them and go through that path? So Nelson Mandela would be the first one. Second one would be still again, if I could get a chance, it would be Tony Robbins, just to understand his life journey and what keeps him going even after 4 decades of him starting. He's still the number one in that space. All right. And yeah, just to understand way deeper or get to know him in person, how he does it, what he does it as well. And the last one, maybe some kind of a sports personality. I'm not sure exactly, especially maybe someone like Lance Armstrong. All right, where like even though with that Tour de France and everything, how does he build the resilience?
Yeah.
All right, how does he make sure that he's able to push through the most hardest of his challenges, even after he went through his cancer, many other cycles? How he's able to bounce back and make sure he's still a high performing person.
Yeah. If you ever write a book or another book, what would it be about?
I think so. It would again be more about finding the right person who can help you reach your goals. All right. There's already a book called as Who Not the How, maybe on the similar lines. All right. But covering more the limiting beliefs about delegation, getting help, working together as a team. Because if you look at it, most right now, the biggest challenge everyone has is time. Okay. And what I've observed in my life is that there's no time hack, there's no productivity hack. All right. It's usually finding those people who can help you. It can be an executive assistant. All right. It can be a team leader who can manage your team. It can be like a social media person, whoever it might be. It just comes down to finding that particular person who can help you reach your goal faster. Or it can even be a mentor, all right, who has already walked the path and who can show you a game plan and make sure that you reach those goals way faster than you have ever imagined.
Awesome. Now, people get where they want to go because they know where they want to go. Where do you ultimately want to go?
For us, the current goal is to make sure that we are able to really empower and, like, show at least 5,000 business owners the path to outsourcing. All right. And really make sure that they're able to get that time freedom. Okay. Because the biggest challenge most entrepreneurs face is I don't have time. I'm busy. They start ignoring their health, they start ignoring their relationships. All right. And more importantly, the reason why they started business would be to grow their clients and add in value. Whereas you get caught up so much in the minute details of your business, when in reality, as a visionary, you should not be even focused doing that. So really where I want to make sure I go is helping at least 5,000 business owners understand their true potential and really start working on visionary, high income, all right, strategic things that takes their entire team, their families, and their entire mission to the completely next level.
Perfect. Perfect. Now, do you have a networking event, product, service, or invention that we could help promote to the audience?
Yeah, 100%. As we discussed, we always offer most of the business owners a profit maximization strategy. All right. It's just a 30-minute quick call where we don't have anything to sell, nothing as such. All right. Where we go through a few things. It usually involves anywhere between 5 to 7 steps on how they can really maximize their profit. Okay. So that they can take home more money, have a bigger impact, and really grow their businesses. And yeah, we usually do that. And the best way that you can access it is to just drop a message on my LinkedIn called as Profit. And one of our team members will get in touch with you and run you through that entire profit maximization strategy call. And you'll have an entire blueprint, which if you want to, you can execute on yourself. And what we have seen is at least people are able to experience just after this profit maximization strategy call, 15 to 20% increase in their profit without even doing anything much.
Good, good. And then would LinkedIn be the best way to get in touch with you, or do you want
Yeah,
to
I'm a
drop
pretty
your
active on
website
LinkedIn. It'll
link?
be
Or...
easier for 100%. It's always easier to drop me a message on LinkedIn, and
Okay,
we'll be more than happy to help people out with their journey.
perfect, perfect. Well, that concludes this episode today. Darshan, thanks for coming. I enjoyed visiting with you and learning a little bit more about you, and I look forward to sharing this episode with everyone.
Thanks so much for having me here, Tim. You're doing an amazing job by interviewing all the founders and giving a platform to share their message and really have a big impact.
Thank you so much.
After 40 people production.